Speaker, if I heard Honorable Ayamba right, she said the conflict is over 40 years. And on page 3 of the statement, these are the words of the maker of the statement, which I want to echo for our collective consideration. Both in the township and the outskirts of Bawku, we now have evidence that the operational style of the military has evolved to include shooting and killing of citizens that they have been tasked to protect. I wish to condemn all such reckless killing. I equally condemn any act of killing by all factions themselves in the conflict in Bawku. Mr. Speaker, the maker of the statement is condemning the killing by the factions themselves. These must be emphasized, that the factions themselves are killing each other, and that is not right. He again goes ahead to say, no one has legal authority to deprive any innocent citizen of his life. So, Mr. Speaker, again, the maker of the statement is telling us of the behavior of individuals that affect law and order. And he again says that it is unacceptable that the youth have drawn lines that cannot be crossed by the other faction. So, Speaker, this is a very serious matter. On this matter, the maker of the statement is not talking about the lack of political will, but he's talking about the situation, how the factions themselves, how the youths are making life difficult. And this is coming from a member of parliament from the...
Please, the statement Honorable Ayaga made is about the military. If it was about one faction, I would have then recognized you. So let's speak. I've admitted 4 from here. I was actually going to give it to the minister, but there appeared to be pressure coming that I should give it to another faction. Please, on this occasion, there was no factionalism. It's about the military. Let's deal with the military, please. Leader, kindly continue. When he finishes, I'll hear you. Yes, leader, kindly continue.
So, Mr. Speaker, the maker of the statement concedes that the factions in this conflict are making life very difficult for law and order to be enforced. And he's very clear in his language, without any ambiguity. So, rooting this through the earlier comment by Honorable Ayamba, I dare disagree with the submission which created an impression that there's no political will to solve the problem. That should not come into play, because the maker of the statement is clearly defining the remit of the conflict. He says that the youths are lawless, they've drawn the line, the youths are making it difficult for law enforcement to do its work, the youth are killing themselves. These are the words of the maker of the statement. And he says that it's not one-sided. Let me go on with the analysis of the statement further. Again, he says that those in the Bawku township must live in freedom and be able to travel out in safety. Those in the outskirts of Bawku must also freely access the central market, central township. Let me also condemn the actions of those who have mounted roadblocks in the past in the environs of Bawku and the northeast region and engage in armed attack of travelers from Bawku. We should be a community governed by laws and not the night of guns. Mr. Speaker, these words must catch our attention as legislators. These are the observations of the Member of Parliament of the very constituency that is under siege and the siege by the very people themselves, according to him. We cannot, as legislatures, engage in blame game here, i.e. NDC against MPP. No, this is not an NDC matter or MPP matter. This is not a matter of government against opposition, nor opposition against government. From the words of the maker of the statement, the individuals are making life difficult. I wonder how the MC is functioning. I wonder how the regional minister is doing his work. I wonder how the assembly members are working there, especially when the maker of the statement says that the members of the community are not cooperating and is urging them to cooperate with the military, with government officials, with their chiefs, with other opinion leaders, and even committees of parliament that may have the honor of visiting there to work with them for peace. So whether you were a Kusasi or a Mamprushi, the maker of the statement is telling us that your actions are causing lives and property and causing poverty. And the maker of the statement again is telling us that these are own goals. He's not talking about outsiders getting in. And having made this point, let me now talk about the infiltration. That terrorists will now take advantage and enter because, Mr. Speaker, your own house is under fire, caused by you yourself, according to the maker of the statement. So, Mr. Speaker, how do I conclude? I conclude by saying that the military must also, in spite of provocation, must know that citizens of this country, no matter what, their lives matter. But the citizens must also cooperate with law enforcement. Very, very important. Bawku is part of Ghana, and we cannot allow that spot to continue to burn. Whereas people are calling for roads and asking for schools and hospitals. If Bawku is burning, can we build the schools? Can a doctor accept posting to Bawku? Can a nurse accept posting to Bawku? Or even if somebody is injured, would the nurse have the courage to treat the person, or a doctor have the courage to attend to the person? These are matters for our consideration. So, Mr. Speaker, this calls for our very reasonable approach to the problem, not to be very emotional, not to attempt to even do politics with it, and by extension attack the government. It is for us to fashion out what it takes to ensure peace in Bawku, since the maker of the statement has told us the source of the problem, has disclosed what is causing this problem to escalate, has disclosed what is making government's intervention difficult. I thank him for being candid. I rest my case without more.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.